Said his house ain't a home and he's losing sleep. Wife cold as steel, vibe off track. Asked me how the hell to get his edge back.
What's going on, guys? I have not a sponsored stream for you today. No one sponsored a stream. If you guys would like to sponsor a stream, you have a question you want me to answer on the podcast, go to video.comeonmanpod.com. But I did find something to entertain you guys with a little bit. I found a Reddit post today, and I was like, okay, this one's good. It's short, so it might be a short episode. But I'll drop a link to it here. It's called, this guy says, pictures found on wife's phone from 6 years ago. And I was like, oh, this would be a good one to talk about, man. Like, have you ever caught your wife or girl having an emotional affair and like you let it slide? Like maybe you guys had a conversation about it. Maybe you guys decided, like maybe you decided to forgive her or whatever. Like sometimes guys do that, you know what I mean? Sometimes if she didn't actually go out and bang some other guy, or at least you don't have any evidence that she did that, for a lot of guys it's not necessarily worth blowing up the marriage for. That's a decision every guy's gonna have to make for themselves, you know. Like there's certain things that I have zero tolerance for. If somehow I found that nurse chick was out having an emotional affair with a guy and sending nudes and all that kind of stuff, she would be donezo. But also, it's easier for me to, cut nurse chick off and say you're donezo because we're not married. We don't live together, right? But if you have 3 kids together, a mortgage, you have 401ks and all that kind of stuff, it's not so simple. It's not as easy as just dump her, bro. But that's for another episode. So anyway, my man writes, he says, tonight, my wife and I were looking through a memory folder that my wife has on her, his English sucks here. My wife Fit's phone created. I don't know. I guess it's my wife created on her phone. This mainly included photos of our children and us. Now, for context to the story, 6 years ago, my wife had an emotional affair with a male coworker with whom I found numerous photos, lengthy texts, etc. on her phone. She always stated nothing happened, but some of those texts got very detailed. Do you guys believe for a minute that nothing happened? Let me know in the chat. I want some participation in today's episode from the peanut gallery today. If your wife said something like that, you found detailed texts of their exchanges. She works with him, so she's physically with this guy on a daily basis, and she sends nudes to this guy. You think nothing happened? I call BS. I call absolute nonsense on that. I do not believe that for a minute. Anyway, he says, tonight, as she was swiping through the photo album on her phone, 2 photos popped up from 6 years ago. Very sexy photos of herself that I know were never sent to me, as I had never seen them. Pictures were date stamped on top. She immediately deleted them, saying that she doesn't remember taking those, and they must have been taken on accident. How do you accidentally take sexy photos? How does that happen? On what planet do you accidentally take sexy photos of yourself? Let me know in the chat some kind of mysterious possible situation where that might happen. Let me know if you believe this at all. Okay. Let me know. Oh my God. Women are just good at lying, aren't they? They are so good at lying, and they're just like, oh no. And she probably doesn't feel like she's lying, because she's probably done some kind of mental gymnastics where she's told herself some story where it wasn't really cheating. I wasn't really doing anything wrong. Nothing happened. Right. He put his penis in my mouth, but that doesn't count. So nothing happened, guys. Like, now this guy says this: should I bring up my concerns or let the past be the past? What would you guys, let me know what you guys would do in this situation. Let me know in the chat. Okay. And then he says, too long, didn't read. Wife shared sexy photos to possible others. He says possible others. So was there other dudes? Like, this was 6 years ago. How many emotional affairs do you think she's had in the last 6 years? She clearly doesn't like this guy. You know what I mean? So anyway, let me just, before I get to the chat here, and just so that we can, we're not over after 5 minutes. So I'm going to read some of these comments here. So this top comment says, I would just flat out ask if she sent them to him. You already know she did. But see, this is the thing, right? Like, if you already know she did, what's the point? What's the point in asking? Like, for some kind of verbal confirmation? She's just going to fucking lie about it later. She's already lying about this stuff. You know what I mean? He goes, you already know she did, but this way, if she's just going to always lie when it's convenient, or if she's actually wanting things to work, she'll be honest, or at least half honest with you. This is the kind of mental gymnastics dudes will tell themselves. If she was really sorry, she would at least be half honest with you, bro. Come up, man. I don't know. And then, of course, some woman's like, agreed, and do this up. Yeah. No. Mm-mm. And this other person says, you don't accidentally take sexy photos. Blurry photos are accidental. Sexy photos, you did that shit on purpose, right? And then this woman actually says, your first mistake was 6 years ago. Your first mistake was tolerating that nonsense, right? And forgiving that. Oh, it was an emotional affair. Sure it was. Sure, it was only an emotional affair when you're sending very detailed, sexy texts and nude pictures and shit like that. And you see them every day on a daily basis. They're going out and fucking in the car on a lunch break. I'm not at the 8-minute mark. By the way, send super chats, okay? One, I'm going to get demonetized for saying a bad word before the 8-minute mark. And then two, no one sponsored an episode today, so send super chats, would you? Brother's got to make a living. Now, one thing that came to mind when I saw this, and I was like, I'm going to do an episode about this, is there's a part in the legendary Ryan Stone's book on dread. And where is it at? It's under humility here. So let me pull this up. If you guys haven't read this book yet by the legendary Ryan Stone, he's the world's greatest red pill couch. And if you're someone who is looking to fix a dead bedroom, turn your marriage around, his book Dread is an excellent compendium to my book on Get Her to Fuck You Again. So if you're reading Get Her to Fuck You Again or listening on Audible, do yourself a favor and grab Dread as well, because Ryan did a really good job with this book, and I don't mind plugging Ryan. And I also don't mind fluffing up Ryan too, because Ryan fucking hates it. Ryan's like, dude, don't talk me up. I said on X the other day, because he was talking about how some dudes will create entire channels off purely Ryan's content and Ryan's inside jokes, I guess is what he was saying. And I told him, I said, well, Ryan, you're a very influential person. And he goes, laugh my ass off. Like, that's bullshit. He's like, he can't take any positive feedback from people. So I love fluffing his ass up just because you don't like it. Anyway, no, Ryan did a really good job with this. So essentially in this part of the book, he's talking about you caught your wife cheating, right? And there's lots of stuff about your wife cheating in this book and dealing with it. And a lot of guys have to make their own decision. A big part of Red Pill is being your own mental point of origin and doing what's best for you, what you think is best for you, right? So one of the things that Ryan talks about here is if you caught her cheating, then you need to enforce some strict fucking rules on her ass if she ever hopes to get back into your good graces. Okay. So he has this. It says humility. Cheating is about entitlement. Being remorseful is about humility. Your trust has been betrayed, and your girl needs to understand that she has to go above and beyond to repair that trust. There is a self-awareness that she broke a very important trust and is not owed forgiveness. What shows a lack of humility? False equivalencies, misplaced feelings, and rationalizations. Statements to look out for include these. Yes, I cheated, but you were never available, right? And if you've ever heard a woman try to justify her cheating, it always sounds like this kind of shit, right? And if you ever hear a woman defending a woman's cheating, because there's this thing called the sisterhood uber alles, where women always go to defend each other no matter what, right? So if you ever see a woman defending a woman's cheating on social media, it usually sounds like this kind of shit too. If she says, I was lonely. That reminds me, God, what movie was that? There was a God, I mean, there's all sorts of cheating in movies, but there was a movie years ago where she was like, I was lonely. And the guy goes, get a fucking dog. Anyway, she says, I need to call him and break things off. I need closure. Or if she says that, she needs closure from that guy. Fucking dump her, bro. Dump her right there. Go call your attorney if you're married. Fuck, she's not remorseful, man. She's looking, if she needs closure, that means she needs to at least bang him one more time. Okay. Stop that shit. Rian goes on. He says, humility involves her knowingly avoiding situations like these where you would have to question the validity of her remorse. So, no girls' nights out, no being away from work for a few hours with no alibis, no phone on silent at home. Like, this was a coworker. Right? This thing that we're talking about initially, that was a coworker. Okay. Do you know how many work husbands bang your wives? Like, that happens constantly. And they go and they do it on their lunch breaks and shit like that. Okay. They have tons of opportunity. They have and then they're gone with alibis and stuff like that. Okay. It happens more often than you guys will even believe. Ryan says, breaking trust is one thing, but the perception of it is just as damaging. If she is truly remorseful, she understands that she doesn't get to hide from the discomfort of her own making. Okay. Now, here's the thing too. A lot of us were raised to be nice guys. So we're almost raised that we have to forgive them. Like, if they ask for forgiveness, like, especially if you're a Christian, you know, Christianity is all about forgiveness and stuff like that. Like, look, that it's not necessarily your job to forgive everybody. Okay. That's Jesus's job. Okay. So Ryan's laying out the ground rules here, and there's a spoiler at the end. So if you guys are thinking about clicking away, you're going to miss Ryan's spoiler at the end about all these things. Okay. And this is his, what does he call it? It's his moon's made out of cheese moment. Okay. The next one is initiative. Real remorse will motivate her to make the effort to make things right. If she requires a psychiatrist to deal with her psychological issues, she books the appointments and shows up to all of them. If you require her to come clean to her parents, then she is willing to eat that humble pie in front of her dad. If her friends covered for her, then she is the one to initiate cutting them out of her life. If she is connected to former flings on her social media, they get blocked. Forgetting about some random platform isn't an excuse. If you find yourself having to make appointments, check up on her actions, etc., then she lacks that initiative. Even if the remorse is real, she's leaving the door open for something to just happen again later on. Just like when you were single and dating her, you didn't commit until she showed real investment towards you. That requirement never changes. Honesty is the next one. You can't cheat without dishonesty. Again, women use trickle truth. Ryan goes into trickle truth earlier on in the book. And maybe I'll do an episode on trickle truth, but women tend to only give you enough information to get you to shut the fuck up, right? Like they will leave out entire things, and this is basically lying by omission, right? But they'll leave out entire things that they don't feel is important for you to know to get you to leave them alone. Okay. So this is what he means by trickle truth. They admit things only as far as they have to avoid further conflict. Real remorse avoids behavior known as DEAR, defend, explain, excuse, rationalize statements that show a lack of honesty. Include these. So basically, Ryan's saying, if she's deering, like turn the tables on her, right? Because we're always talking about never dear, don't dear, always Luca, and all that kind of stuff. If she's deering for this kind of stuff, she's trying to avoid conflict. So anyway, statements show a lack of honesty include these. He was just a friend. It didn't mean anything. It was just a coworker. Nothing happened, right? Nothing happened. Or we just talked. It only happened the once. Okay. The standard should be held. The standard you should hold her to is this: full disclosure. No lies by omission, no trickle truth, no staring up and to the right to think about what answer she gives. These are the requirements of true remorse. Honesty involves the self-awareness to know that in order for this relationship to be salvageable, nothing can be forgivable if she expects it to be forgettable. When he says up and to the right, that's classic. That's like a classic NLP thing to see if someone's lying, right? If they're looking up and to the right, it's because they're using their imagination. They're not actually recalling things. It's fun little thing. It's not 100% reliable though. Just FYI, as a master NLP practitioner, I'll tell you it's not 100% reliable, but it's a good rule of thumb. Patience is the next one. If they truly have remorse, they have to be in it for the long haul. Telling you that you need to get over it, or being irritated that you're dwelling on the past, or that it was a year ago, demonstrates a lack of patience on her part. Remorse doesn't want to return to the status quo. She understands that she doesn't get to control the situation and that patience is required. So if she's asking you to just get over it, oh, just get over it. That was 6 years ago. Oh, just get over it. That tells you everything you need to know. There's no set period of time, no statistic or research paper that settles on 6 months, a year, or longer is the amount of time it takes to get over it. It takes as long as it takes. While I dismiss feelings throughout this book and volume one, this is Praxeology Volume 2. Volume 1 is Frame, which is also a really good book. In this case, I'm making an exception. Her patience must last as long as you need it to. It's not punishment. You're not trying to teach that bitch a lesson. You're looking for a long enough period of time where she's remorseful and trustworthy so that you no longer have a skeptical eye when she makes an odd move. Ownership. We're going to be talking about ownership on Friday. He goes, men have guilt, women have shame. The difference between the two is that guilt is internal while shame is external. Women hate shame with a passion and justify guilt with post hoc rationalizations. It didn't count is the motto for women, but real remorse involves her taking responsibility and ownership for what she has done. Real women who feel real remorse treat the relationship as more important than her reputation, right? This is another reason why we often say in the space that women lack accountability, right? It's because a lot of the times they're trying to avoid any kind of any form of shame, right? All right, where are we at here? Okay, so we're almost done here. Being unwilling to tell the family that she messed up and wear that shame is a signal that while she may feel bad, her reputation is more important than the relationship. Self-image isn't remorse, it's narcissism. If she truly has remorse, she needs a clear, undiluted understanding of what she's done to have genuine remorse. Anything less is just a woman who feels bad and wants to stop feeling bad. Recompense. This is the last one. There is real risk involved with responding to remorse. You need to take on the risk of someone who has proven they can and have betrayed you. People seeking forgiveness are taking the risk of sacrificing themselves in hope of being forgiven, but being abandoned anyway if it doesn't work out. Recompense means the other person does not try to shift the risk onto you. They committed the betrayal, so they brought the risk onto themselves. Renegotiating prenup agreements or any assurance you require are important. If she wants forgiveness but isn't willing to put her money where her mouth is, then it's not that she feels bad for betraying you. She only feels bad because she got caught. Now, this is one of the things that will blow your mind. Okay. Now, Rian, when I sort of jokingly say Ryan's the world's best red pill couch, but the thing is, he really is, and he is a fucking genius, and he's been doing this for a long time. I'm not just blowing his skirt up here. Okay. He's seen this for years. He's seen this in forums for decades. He's seen countless instances of this. He's coached lots of guys. He stopped coaching several years ago, but through this, working one-on-one with guys, he's seen this so many times that I hope that me saying that adds weight to what I'm about to read to you. Ryan says the moon is made out of cheese. In the hundreds of times I have given men this list to use, engaging their wives' regret, remorse, or shame, in the thousands of times guys have reported on this in their field reports, and in every example I've seen growing up, I have yet to see a woman pass. Not one. The purpose of this isn't to test her, it's to test yourself. I found it was impossible to tell a guy his wife is a cheating whore, and he needs to sort himself out. He has to have a path to follow, a way to figure it out for himself. Maybe your wife is different, or maybe she's just like every other woman. If she is better than that, you'll see it in this test. You can't bullshit yourself into hearing her say, just get over it, and think she has remorse. You can't bullshit yourself into seeing her miss appointment after appointment with her psych and still think she has remorse. You can't bullshit yourself into hearing her blame you for her falling on a dick while coming clean to her parents and think she has real remorse. You can't bullshit yourself into listening to her refer to it in vague terms like the event and think she has real remorse. Like with everything else involved with dread, it's not about her. It's about you. Women were never meant to pass that test. You are. Now you're seeing the world for what it is and not for what you want it to be. You feel that sting? That's good. That's pain. It's supposed to be there. Let it work its magic so that you can move forward with a better strategy than hope and communication. If you do, it will give you the clarity you need to understand what type of woman you have in front of you. Cheating is one of the few ways women slap those wife goggles off your face. Instead of the hot 19-year-old bar sloot, he didn't say sloot, but we're on YouTube. Instead of the hot 19-year-old bar sloot you met, you now see the 43-year-old mother of two, warts and all. Once you detach your ego from your decision and adopt a more objective way of measuring truth, you will be able to live life instead of letting life happen to you. Okay. So essentially, the way that applies to this guy is that crap happened 6 years ago. She gave him a whole song and dance about it being an emotional affair. Nothing happened. And the dude believed it. Okay. So Ryan's outline there of, okay, you caught her cheating, having an emotional affair. Okay, well, now you need to give her this test. If she expects your forgiveness, she has to do all these things. And how she reacts to the test will tell you everything you need to know. You feel me, dog? You feel me? All right. So that's the moral of the story. And the big reason why, like Ryan was saying there, the moon was made out of cheese moment. If you guys don't know that reference, Ryan often says, if you tell a man that the moon's made out of cheese and it gets him to go to the gym, then by God, it's made out of cheese, right? So what he's saying there is telling a guy to go through all these steps to test his woman, when you know perfectly good and well, it wasn't just a one-time thing. It wasn't just an emotional affair. Nothing happened. Like, that's all nonsense. In your heart of hearts, it's nonsense. But guys need to believe, right? They need their blue-pilled conditioning requires them to believe. So, okay, cool. Well, here's a test to give her to make sure she's truly remorseful. And he says the test is for you. It's for you to open your fucking eyes, brother. Okay. Here's the thing about women cheating. Okay. Women are hypergamous by nature, right? We all know this. Hypergamy is monogamy. Okay. That's women's instinctive nature, is to consolidate on one guy at a time. Men, our instinctive nature is polygamy. It's to have unlimited access to unlimited pussy with unlimited options. Okay. Now we've all, as a society, for the most part, decided that, okay, we'll just stick to one person, right? We'll try to do that stuff, right? So that actually benefits women. That actually benefits women's sexual strategy. Okay. And the way it benefits men is that most men aren't able to get unlimited access to pussy like real high value guys are. So at least they get a little taste of the pie, right? So there's a benefit to the lower tiered men out there when it comes to monogamous relationships. Okay. Not to say that if you like monogamous relationships, that's a bad thing. Okay. I personally like them too. So whatever. Okay. But we're talking about basic human nature. So when it comes to a woman cheating, because of the way she's wired, the way her evolutionary psychology is set up, she can only really love one guy at a time. And if she is not enthusiastically wanting to bang you and she's out having emotional affairs and banging other dudes, she loves this guy. She don't love you anymore. Okay. Like, women really can only love one guy at a time. That's how they're wired. Like a guy, because we're polygamous, we can love our wives and go cheat and still love our wives. We're wired completely differently. I'm not saying like one's better than the other. It's just how we're wired. Okay. But if she's out there cheating, it's because she doesn't look at you like you're her best hypergamous option anymore. Now she's trying to find one. Okay. So do you really want to keep that around? If you're sitting there going, I don't know, I think I want to forgive her, use Ryan's test. Okay. Use Ryan's test so that you can see this shit for yourself. Okay. All right, cool. All right. Let's look at the chat here and then we'll wrap this up. Nurse Chick's in the house. She says, good morning, or she says, good afternoon, gentlemen. Nurse Chick.
I'm so naughty.
Yes.
I'm gonna come.
That pussy must be ridiculous.
Guys, it is. Let me just tell you that right now. Let's see what else we got here. Eric Von Erich's in the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Handsome Pete. Hey, Pete, you're up in Canada, right? I try to remember like certain guys, and Pete's in the chat a lot. So, but I believe he's up in Canada. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, good to see you. He says, boom, here we go. And he says, yeah, that's BS. And then R. Lopez Jr. is just laughing at this shit. And then Dar Fitness says smashing that like button is alpha. That's true. If you guys haven't smashed that like button yet, smash it like you're going to smash your girl later. And then brother David's in the house. He's from Wolfpack. Brother David's a fucking legend in Wolfpack, guys, by the way. He says, from the title of the episode, it's going to be a mindset one. Now we're talking about cheating today, bro. Darfin says she is going to lie and justify her actions. She will take it to her grave. Yeah. Oh, but he was just a friend. That's what Desert Dog said. Let's see here. David says the episode hasn't started for me yet. 8 minutes after. Is it live for you now, David? David always has problems, man. Like the other day, he's like, Paul, I can't find your episode on Spotify. I'm like, it's right fucking here, bro. I don't know. Maybe you need a new phone, David. I don't know, man. Darfin says women don't like pictures of themselves, so to take them and keep them, the photos had to be curated and carefully taken. She did a photo shoot of her own, not an accident at all. I thought women don't like taking pictures of themselves. I thought they fucking did. They're always posting that shit on Instagram and stuff. Pictures of their ass. There's all sorts of ass pictures. There's too many ass pictures out there for that to be a true statement. He goes, Darfin says, this reminds me of The Hangover where Phil is telling Stu that his wife cheated, but she was wasted and he didn't you in her. And Phil says, and you believe that? Oh, keeping the pics is wild. Saving those younger self pics for the next guy. Oh, that might be exactly what she's doing, bro. Yeah, she's like, I'm only getting older. This pussy's not gonna look this good in 5 years and 10 years. That's terrible. We're getting demonetized, guys. You know that, right? Send super chat. He goes, I heard you were a misogynist, so I came to enjoy your content. I am. Yes. By the way, guys, I shared it on social media. On Facebook, there's an option to leave a review of my Facebook page. Okay. Most of you guys probably don't even realize that's there. You probably have never even looked at it. Right. But the thing is that I frequently get reviews on Facebook, but they're always angry feminists calling me a misogynist and, saying I'm bald or whatever, which is funny because we're going to have a reveal here, but I'm not bald. I was showing one of the guys in Wolfpack on our last hangout. I actually took my hat off and showed him my full head of hair. And he goes, dude, how'd you get your hair to grow back like that? And I go, I just stopped shaving it. I've never actually been bald. But, when you're shaving your head and you've done it for 3 years, you see some people lose their mind about bald people. And it's actually kind of funny watching people project their insecurities onto you. It's been a fun social experiment. I'm waiting for it to get a little bit longer. And then I'm going to do a whole reveal on the podcast. We'll make it a whole episode and it will talk about people's insecurities when it comes to being bald and like what guys who are actually balding, what they can do about it and all that kind of stuff. So that should be a fun episode. But yeah, some feminists on there, shit on the Facebook page, called me a misogynist and said that you guys that watch the show, you're all a bunch of incels and you guys can't all have erectile dysfunction, of course. Right? Yeah. So anyway, triggered feminists. Another satisfied customer. Oh, Pete says he's in Saskatchewan. See, I knew it. I fucking knew it. I knew you were a Canuck, bro. All right, guys, that's all we got for this episode. Tune into the podcast tomorrow. If you guys are on the dating circuit, you might enjoy this episode. We're going to be talking about how to hack Tinder so that you actually can get a higher ELO score or whatever they call it now. I guess they don't call it ELO anymore, but they still use an algorithm to match you with people, and based on the activity on the app, that will determine whether you're getting matched with hot chicks or bar hogs. Okay. And the reason why I decided to do this episode is because the last pack hangout we had, brother Brad, who is like our resident passport bro / digital nomad, he literally doesn't own a house or an apartment. He just travels around Central America and South America banging Latinas. That's all he does. And he primarily uses Tinder as his way to source these women. And he was talking about all these different hacks he uses to make sure that he's only getting hot quality Latinas. And so then we started this discussion about it because I've also heard some other things from other dating coaches in the space. And I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do a whole episode on it. Should be fun. So tune into that if you've been struggling on the apps. That's all we got. Y'all didn't send any super chats, so I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time here. Tune into the podcast tomorrow. We'll see you next time.
You don't fix the storm by folding yourself. She don't want sweet, she wants a man who